Hey everybody, I just wanted to give you a quick update on how everything's going. I'm joining you today from the parent pickup line because we are having like some construction and stuff done at my house and it's just really loud and it's been pretty consistent. So I did try to film a video once, and when I did, someone, like a contractor, showed up like in the middle of it and I had to scrap it. But anyway, so if you hear anything, my little one is in the back seat asleep, and we've got about 15 minutes to kill until my older son gets out of school. So I just wanted to, I'm actually in my new minivan. We ended up getting a minivan just before the end of the year because more kids, you know. And it's really cool. It's a Honda Odyssey. I'm trying to pump myself up about it. I've just never been like a minivan lover. I don't know why. It's probably vanity, honestly, but it's got everything you could ever want, and it's like the most convenient thing for our situation. So I'm getting used to it. But aside from that, let me update you. So we ended up seeing the OB doctor. It's been 2 weeks or 10 days maybe now, and nothing really happened at that visit. That's why I didn't think it was necessary to update. They listened to the baby's heartbeats, which were great, and took her vitals and her urine sample, and like that, nothing. It was like no new news, basically. So but then we went to maternal fetal medicine. I always say maternal fetal medicine. Maternal fetal medicine, which is like the high risk doctor, 2 days ago. And they did like our level 2, let me set this down so it's not so shaky. That's like the anatomy scan. So we can we like look at them in depth, all their body parts and their heart and that kind of stuff. So we did that, and it was a really long visit. It was 2 hours, which was actually kind of cool because we were like hanging out with the babies for 2 hours, which was neat. And actually something interesting that happened is I was just talking amongst myself with my surrogate and just saying, like, you know, calling the babies by their names. And she said, the ultrasound tech stopped me and was like, baby A is a boy. I hear you guys calling, you know, a girl name, but baby A is a boy. And I was like, what? Excuse me? And she said, yeah, I'm looking right at him. And she showed me, and I was like, that's definitely a boy. I was like, you're sure that's baby A? She's like, yep, definitely sure. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna need you to check B real quick, because ever since I found out it was a girl, that day I went shopping. Like, I have not slowed down in that, and I don't feel bad about it. I have no shame in my game there. And so she's like, oh, let me just get A's measurements and then we'll go over to B. And I'm like, the whole time just sweating bullets, thinking like, I have so much to return. I did a gender reveal, like we've named them, like we've been calling them their names, everybody's excited, you know what I mean? And so eventually she looked, and I guess the private ultrasound lady like had it wrong, like the position of them. But anyway, so A is a boy, B is a girl, and the way we were remembering it was like B boy, so now we're kind of screwed. But anyway, so that was kind of funny. But like I said, the level 2 went great. She did get sick in the middle of it, just from having to lay on her back the whole time, and she got really clammy and kind of nauseous. She has actually been nauseous this whole time. She hasn't really stopped that, which sucks, because I was nauseous till 10 weeks, like till I stopped the progesterone. But this is now 19 weeks, and she has been nauseous this whole time, and she's getting very little reprieve. I think it is improving a little bit, but not like, you know, she's not in like the second trimester euphoria that people say, you know, you feel great during that time. She's definitely been still pretty sick. So that's a bummer, but she's just trying to find ways to find things that she can eat and that will stay down and that kind of stuff. Comes and goes, she says. But the babies looked great. The girl is measuring about a week ahead, and the boy is measuring about 2 weeks ahead, which I feel like is normal at this point. That doesn't really indicate much for the and I do make big kids, but I don't really think that like this necessarily is an indicator of that. And they're just their little body parts. Everything is so perfect. We saw all their little fingers and toes and their spine. It's just mind-blowing. Their little profiles. If I compared the boy's profile to my little one's profile, my youngest son's profile, and it like the pictures look the same, they could be interchangeable, which I also know is pretty common at this stage. They're all kind of cute little button noses and whatever, but it was cool. They're so active, and currently they're both head down, which I know can totally change. I hope it doesn't, but it could, you know, they're where they need to be right now, which is great. She feels them all the time, which is so cool. And so that's pretty much, and she's starting to show for sure. So that's really cool too, to like see them, you know, like see that it's, you know, it doesn't feel real, especially for me, because I don't have much to do with this other than just showing up to appointments. I feel like a dad, honestly. And I'm not saying that like dads don't do anything, but until they're born, it's like, and even that, like I can't help her with much. Like I'm not there to help take care of her or whatever, as like, you know, my husband was when I was pregnant. But I'm trying really hard to like do things that make it feel real to me. For example, we've been making the nursery. The cribs are there and we've got the mattresses and I got the crib sheets, and I'm just trying to like get that room together because it's, I don't know, it's fun for me, and I feel like I don't want to wait till the last minute because I have no idea when they're going to come, and I'm going to have to be planning a baby shower soon. So anyway, so that's been really neat. I would love to show you guys the room when it's done. I also have, like I said, been just getting a bunch of stuff, clothes. Like I can't resist. I mean, I can't resist the corresponding outfits. So like the same outfit, but in 2 different colors. Like I just love, I think that's adorable. I don't do like, this is pink and this is blue necessarily. Like we're just like, for example, I bought these like swaddle, brand new, like the, when the babies are brand new, like in the hospital, the swaddle outfits with like, they tie at the bottom. They almost look like, I always think they look like little ghosts, but I got one, and one is like dusty rose color and the other one is orange. It's adorable. Like I can't stop myself. So I'm going to be doing a video actually that towards the end of this week showing you guys everything, and it's going to be a long one. So, I would highly recommend like setting aside some time for that in your day. But so I'm going to be doing that. And I also have everything written out for the cost breakdown. Now that we know with twins, this is how much, if it ends up being a C-section, this will be how much, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to be doing that too. Cause I've been kind of waiting to hear what it was going to look like. And she also did change insurances the first year. So I wasn't sure if we were going to end up paying, out of pocket for stuff or whatever. So now I'm kind of ready. So we're going to be doing that. And, like I said, I'd love to do a nursery tour, but so like back to how she's doing. I think she's improving as far as the nausea goes, but it's just not consistent. So some days she's great, some days she's bleh. It's just hit or miss at this moment. But and she's definitely much more tired. She says that she can just sleep all the time, which when you have a 2-year-old, that's not possible. So I definitely feel for her. And we did get to spend Christmas together, which was really cool. And so that's been like a cool thing. Just kind of, it's like, I just feel like selfishly I'm spending time with my children, which is something I think I took for granted when I was pregnant, because I was always spending time with my boys, and now I'm like, I feel so removed, and it's just such a weird thing. The doctors don't talk to me like I'm the mother. They don't even talk to me at all. The only questions I've had to answer so far were genetic questions because they're genetically mine, but other than that, they don't even like look at me in the visits. So that's been a little tough, but it just comes with it, and I can't make this personal. This is not about me. This is about them. It's not about how I feel. It doesn't matter how I feel. It's not gonna make my babies any healthier or whatever. So other than that, I mean, we've been really busy lately, and I think that's been helping with the time pass. And I want to tell you something kind of cool that happened. We through this community, I met another surrogate mom. She's an intended parent like me. She actually had well, I guess she's an actual parent now, but she was an intended parent. She had a son via surrogate, and he is the same age as my little guy. And we got to meet actually this weekend, and it was incredible to just be able to talk to somebody who's gone through what I've gone through. And I mean, she was never able to have natural children of her own, so it's even more like incredible to see that relationship, you know, and how treasured that little boy is, and how just, and I met her husband as well, and he met my husband, and so they kind of were talking about it, you know, how the dad side of things, and it's just cool to see that this really is going to happen. It just feels like such a fairy tale and almost like fiction, because it's not real yet to me. And even though we're buying all the things and we've got the names and we're planning and we're paying, and, you know, it doesn't feel like it's a real thing until it happens. And so seeing her with her son and realizing it does happen, and it is hard. I talked to her, she had her own set of struggles, and it's just crazy to see it in real life. It doesn't feel like such a fantasy, I guess. And that was really cool, and I would not have been able to do that without this platform, so that was pretty amazing. So from here, we will have another follow-up OB appointment where I think, if I'm right, we'll be doing the glucose test, the gestational diabetes test, which I hope she passes with flying colors. And they do it a little earlier with twins, so I think we'll be 23 weeks or something at that point. And I think they're going to do it, or at least order it then. And then we also will be following up with MFM on February 10th, which we'll be doing a fetal echocardiogram. They're just going to examine the baby's hearts, because with IVF there's a higher risk of heart defects. And I did the same thing with him, and which was fine. It is another very long appointment, but it's kind of cool because we get to look at the anatomy all over again, and they take some like cool pictures because they're further along. Like I said, that's in 4 weeks, so they'll be almost 24 weeks at the time, or 23 weeks, I should say. And I'm going to see if my husband will go to that one. He hasn't been to an appointment yet, other than the one where we just found out that it was twins originally. Excuse me. And so, because that would be, I mean, if I feel removed from it, I can't imagine how removed he feels from it, because you know, he's so busy and has you know, his full plate, and so he can't be as like involved even as I am, and I feel so uninvolved just because of the limitations. But anyway, so look forward to some stuff soon. I really appreciate you guys watching. If you have any other questions or suggestions or recommendations of things you may want to see, let me know, and I will talk to you guys soon.